Hey guys, it's Unblessed Data for the Lost Bros Clubhouse, and I'm here to review the brand new released Marvel Legends Magneto from the Jubilee wave. So this wave is pretty interesting. We got a bunch of different new characters. We got Wolverine Unmasked, Storm, which I'll also be reviewing, so you can check the channel for that, Cyclops from All New X-Men, Magneto in his classic uniform, and Strife. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name, but whatever. And you build Jubilee. So Jubilee, not really a fan favorite for me, so I don't know if I'm going to be building her. But this Magneto figure right here, I couldn't pass up. I mean, it looks awesome. Just to point out right here, it says, this small print right here, it says, pose requires hand support. Why are they saying that? Are people calling Hasbro saying, yes, you know, I'm very disappointed that this picture right here, I could not do that without hand support. It really bugs me. I don't understand what that's all about. But this figure looks pretty amazing. Only at Toys R Us, so check your shelves because they're stocking soon. They stocked pretty soon and pretty fast at my local Toys R Us, and they usually don't. Just to point out, they are not using art anymore for the back. It's just a picture of the figure. So I don't know. I kind of liked how they had art in the back before. I still think this is cool, but I don't know, art just gave it a more of a collector's appeal to me, because, I don't know, like art pieces and figures, and it just goes nice together, and I would have just liked it if they kept it like that. But other than that, let's just crack Magneto open. We got Magneto out of the box, but before we take a closer look at him, let's take a look at his accessories that he comes with, which he basically comes with nothing, but he does come with the Build-A-Figure piece for Jubilee, one of the arms. It's going to be a small figure, this Build-A-Figure. It's Jubilee. She's not supposed to be big. And he comes with a little instruction booklet thing to tell you how to build Jubilee. You don't put the arm on the leg and the leg on the arm. You got to get a normal human being here. So that's about all he comes with. So now after actually looking at this figure in closer detail, it's a pretty nice figure. I like it, but I do have my problems with it. It's not a perfect figure, but it's pretty decent, and I do recommend it. I do like this one better than the Marvel Select Magneto, basically because of articulation. The Marvel Select figures don't have as much articulation as the Marvel Legends, but the sculpt I do prefer on the Marvel Select Magneto, which I'll bring them out and I can show a little comparison later, but let's just focus on this guy right here. My big complaint with this figure is some of the paint apps on him don't really match. If you look at his chest right here where his abs are, it's a very different color than the rest of his chest. And I understand that, it's trying to make a little bit of a shading thing going on, but the plastic just looks completely different, and it just looks really awkward to me. It just looks like it doesn't belong. I just really don't like that. I really wish they just would have stuck with the same plastic and made it the same tone at least and put shading throughout, not a different colored plastic altogether. I just don't understand that. The other thing that kind of bugs me, and this is the thing with Marvel Legends now. Before Marvel Legends, the paint apps were really great, no complaints at all, but now you really have to look at the figures while you're in the store and make sure you don't have any with defects. There was 2 Magnetos at Toys R Us today when I went, and this one was probably the best out of the 2. But as you can see, his head sculpt, it's nice, but he almost looks kind of derpy. I mean, it's a pretty good head sculpt, but just one thing that I don't like is his eyes. They look kind of weird, almost like they're off-centered or something. There's just something slightly off with his eyes. But other than that, I think it's still a really nice head sculpt. I mean, they put the detail in there. It's not like it's lacking detail. I think the paint apps on his head is actually pretty good too. The purple is perfect. The red's really nice. It's good. Even the purple for his cape is really nice also. I think they chose the right color for that. Maybe a bit more shading would be good. But again, the problem with paint apps with Hasbro, it comes again right here. If you look at his neck, there's a glob of just stray paint that fell there. I don't know if Magneto's been chewing on some gum and it spilt or something, or some gravy, but I don't know. And I just really don't like that. And again, if you look on his leg right here, a piece of plastic's kind of just ripped up right there. That's why I'm kind of turning away from Marvel Legends at this point, because they're just not as high quality as they used to be. But it's basically one tone throughout the whole figure for the red. Some shading here and there, but not too much. And on the legs, you can see the shading. There's like a blackish, more shade on it. And the boots are pretty nice and everything. It's a good figure. I mean, even the cape's just one color too. It's a flimsy type of plastic, it moves like that. So Magneto's cape actually does come off. All you have to do is pop off his head, and there's a peg in his back. You just pull it out like that, and bam, his cape comes right off. As you can see, the peg's right there, and there's a nice hole in the back of his back. You can also put a flight stand in there if you have previous older Marvel Legends, but I don't know how that would work considering if you want the cape and he can't be flying at the same time. So that kind of sucks, but it's nice that they at least have the option to take off the cape. So for articulation, Magneto has a bunch of articulation everywhere throughout him. His head goes all the way around, back and forth, although you can't really put it all the way around. It's really awkward. It kind of bumps off and just kind of comes off, but it does go all the way around. He can look up, not really that much, and he can look down quite a bit, so there's an okay range of motion there. His arm is on a ball joint, but it's obviously hindered by his cape, so it can go up about that much, down, up. Double jointed elbow. There is no joint on his wrist, which I'm very surprised. No joint at all. Same thing with the other arm. It's the exact same for that arm. He has an ab crunch that goes up and down, a swivel right there, another ball joint for the leg that goes up and down, and double jointed knees, joint on his ankle, and a pivot. So good articulation. A bit of a size comparison and just comparison in general. We got the Marvel Select Magneto next to the newly released Marvel Legends Magneto, and you can see the size difference is really apparent. The paint apps are really apparent, and even the sculpt difference is really apparent. I think that the Marvel Select Magneto, which is this guy right here, I think he's much better sculpted, and the paint apps I think are way better on the Marvel Select Magneto also. The only thing that the Marvel Legends Magneto has over the Marvel Select one is that he has more articulation. But funny enough, the Marvel Select Magneto has articulation in his wrist, and the Marvel Legends one doesn't. But the Marvel Select one doesn't have any ab crunch or ankle pivot, nothing like that, so articulation is the boss here, and the Marvel Select one just kind of fails in that disregard. Overall, the Marvel Legends Magneto is a decent figure, but not a must-buy on my list. It goes great in displays that you already got, and with all the other X-Men that have been released, it's perfect to add to your collection, but it's not a top-notch figure. I would say it's decent, but not the best out there. I think it's worth it. If you can find it and you like Magneto, then I say pick it up. If you want it for a cool display like this, pick it up. But if you're just getting it off of whim and saying, oh, this looks really sweet, I don't really have nothing else to go with it, I just think it looks cool by itself, I would pass up on it and maybe wait for something a bit better to come out. But with that being said, thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned to the Lost Bros Clubhouse and the LostBrosClubhouse.com for more news and reviews. I'll talk to you guys later.